Hey, how are you guys doing this morning? I hope you're doing amazing. So, we're back with the Harvard Rhetoric class. We're currently on day 5 of it. I will let you know, yesterday, after I got my little walk in the dark down by the Colorado River and stuff like that, I did come back. I checked it out, Module 8. Module 8, which does contain all of the regular course lectures for this, if you were taking it at actual, like the Harvard, campus. Um, all of those are there. There's about 15, maybe 16 hours of lecture video. I did catch up with some of it. I will straight up tell you guys right now, I didn't get through all of it. I got through enough that we're good moving on for this morning and stuff like that, but I for sure did not kick butt enough to get through an entirety of 15 hours of lecture course material. I will legitimately knock out some more of it, and I'll have it all done this week, course wise. We're going to move on right now. I'm trying to make sure I've got chat up. I do hope you guys are having just a excellent morning. Of course, you guys do know it's 5 a.m., so I am still kind of a bit discombobulated, but not totally. But I think we are absolutely ready to go. So, coffee in. I've drank half of that already. That's kind of crazy. Let's start this back up. I believe we're at this area right here, but let me look because I don't want to. Okay, so we listened to the speech. We already did. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to read this through this for you guys. We listened through this yesterday on the day before yesterday. Then we filled out the annotations on that third party app. So we still are in module 2, just in case you're trying to keep track of where we are. I'm going to read this entire blurb about the speaker. Holy crap. That looks like a lot, but let's do it anyway. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an activist and a Baptist minister best known for his leadership during the American Civil Rights Movement. He took an early role starting with the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott. A fierce advocate of racial and economic justice through nonviolent resistance, Dr. King helped to organize pivotal civil rights protests, including the March from Selma to Montgomery and the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his now famous I Have a Dream speech. Born on January 15th, 1929, King showed remarkable oratorical talent early in life, joining his high school debate team and winning prizes in oratorical contests. A brilliant student, he entered Morris House College at age 15. I actually don't know anything about that college, just to be honest. He went on to study divinity at Crozer Theological Seminary and received his PhD in theology from Boston University in 1955. Good morning, by the way. He guest pastored at different Boston congregations during this time and often met with other ministers to work on sermons and discuss contemporary social issues. Interesting. Although King displayed an innate talent for oratory, he also recognized the importance of its formal study. This led him to take courses in preaching every semester during the 3 years at Crozer Theological Seminary. Well, I'm going to tell you, when I listened to him deliver the Martin Luther King, his own speech, compared to when I read it. When I read it myself, it's impressive. It's a well written speech. So even when you read it, you're not like, oh, this is junk writing. It's excellent writing, right? But the difference in the level, if you read the speech and you listen to the audio that they gave us for us to listen to it, not even the same thing. And I would invite you, if you have never actually heard him do it, go back and read it. It'll be a good speech if you read it and you'll be interested. Then find the audio for him actually just giving it. Hands down, it's like that man knew how to speak, like flat out. It's delivered epic level, like epic level delivery. I wish I was anywhere near as well spoken as Dr. King, just to be honest. Okay, let me focus back on this stuff. Although King, oh wait, we already got through that. We already got through that. Okay. By the time of 1963's March on Washington, King had garnered a national reputation for his work organizing nonviolent protests against voting restrictions, lack of economic opportunity, and racial segregation. As the leader of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, he called attention to the indignities suffered by African Americans in the United States in general, and the Jim Crow South in particular. He received the Nobel Prize in 1964 for his nonviolent approach to racial justice, an approach he later applied to anti Vietnam War activism and and a broad movement aimed at economic justice for all Americans. He was assassinated on April 4th, 1968, leaving behind an international civil rights legacy. So honestly, I didn't know he was involved with the Vietnam War. I didn't know anything about his position on this. Let's rip through this baby. Okay. The speech. I am happy to join you today in what will, oh, you know what? We already have covered this a bunch. I am happy to join you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in our nation's history. I absolutely do think that that's a pivotal, cool thing that he was able to uh, you know how in football, or maybe it's not football even, maybe it's baseball where they call their shot and they're like, boom, right there, I'm sending that baby. It's baseball, probably. Um, the fact that they knew the gravity of this speech is crazy. Like, I don't know how you roll out there with enough confidence to be like, I'm happy to join you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration of freedom in our nation's history. Like, how would you shot call that one? Like, and I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that's a brazenly bold statement to just be able to roll out there and make. Like, crazy, crazy confidence. Or all in, right? So begins the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s now famous I Have a Dream speech, delivered on August 28th, 1963, nearly 100 years after the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments to the United States Constitution outlawed slavery, guaranteed equal protections under the laws, and prohibited states from using race to deny citizenship rights to vote. African Americans continued to face discrimination and lack of access of opportunity across the U.S. The problem was particularly pronounced in the southern United States. Here, official rulings such as Brown versus the Board of Education did little to quickly integrate public facilities. A peaceful protest against segregation like sit-ins, boycotts, and marches, were often met with brutal suppression. With the Civil Rights Act pending in Congress, Dr. King, framed by the Lincoln Memorial, addressed his speech to over 250,000 people during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. I didn't know that was what it was called either. Good to know. Parts of the long history of civil rights struggle, King's speech draws on the influence of early abolitionists and black thought leaders like Frederick Douglass and W.E.B. Du Bois. I don't know anything about that dude. Calling for nothing less than full social, economic, and political equality for all citizens, and full repudiation of the separate but equal doctrine that had stifled the promise of legal gains made during the previous century. I don't know anything about this argument right here. I'm going to just tell you guys. Oh! I follow it. It's segregation. Holy crap. For some reason, I was reading separate but equal, and I was trying to understand what that was applying to for a second, and I don't know how I lost plot lines so freaking drastically reading there. Apologize. That literally was a 5 a.m. moment. I will get some more coffee in me. Let's hope I don't have another moment like that. Okay, separate but equal. I get it. Bogus, right? Everybody thinks that that's bogus. Well, not everybody. I'm sure that there's some minority of people out there that are very much disagree with me on it, but I can see how separate but equal doesn't quite work out, right? Okay, let's see. Just trying to find out where I am at. With clear echoes of these thinkers and references to the Gettysburg Address, the Emancipation Proclamation, and the foundational American documents throughout, King's speech is firmly situated on a long historic arc, expounding on the themes of freedom and equality, and appealing to the United States of America to live up to past promises. Through deeply rooted Though deeply rooted in the past, the speech is nevertheless contemporary. Its urgent call for unity and nonviolent action in the face of oppression and brutality set an important tone for the overall movement, which struggled at the time with internal forces advocating for more radical responses. I mean, it's not a shock that inside of a movement there is a more extremist wing, so like that doesn't blow my mind at all. You don't hear a lot about that, but obviously they were able to self-police, right? To a point, or those more radical forces would have took over. That's what happens. A call to action for radical justice or racial justice at a pivotal moment in American history. I Have a Dream is a rhetorical masterpiece renowned for both its craft and its contribution to the cause of civil rights. More than 250,000 people joined the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom on August 28th, 1963. At the time, it was the largest demonstration to take place on the National Mall. Interesting? As you read this speech, think about how the settings and audience influences the speaker's structural and stylistic choices. Okay, so the other day we listened through and read through the speech. We've already done that. So I'm not going to re-hit it again if they have us go to do it again. I think that we were able to get it. Oh, you know what though? They're going to break it down for us. That's valuable. A breakdown by somebody that knows the terms and stuff like that and is going to give us a breakdown based on how they would break it down. I'm willing to do that. Let me adjust myself. I'm going to read through this crap too. I'm going to be honest, I don't usually read out loud for 1 hour solid. Just weird. Not used to it. King used many rhetorical devices in his speech. We will be studying many such devices in this course, beginning with schemes and tropes listed below. These and other terms are listed in the glossary, which you may access through the glossary tab at the top of the page. The definitions will also be linked throughout. Recall from Module 1 that in the study of rhetoric, tropes tropes, sorry guys, I had a hiccup. Tropes are any sort of figurative or evocative language. Oh, I like that. Here are two types of tropes Dr. King used in his speech. Allusions. Oh, I like it too. Reference to another artist, person, place, or idea. We know well known to the audience in order to use its message or characteristic to illustrate the author's message. For example, English speakers frequently allude to Shakespeare or the Bible. Until the latest of our world's conflicts, the United States had no armament industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. Dwight D. Eisenhower, it was his farewell address in January 17th of 1961. Honestly, the wording on that's so weird that I mean, it might have for its time. But he's using Bible language. I get it. They explain it here. The reference is to the biblical prophets Isaiah and Joel. The latter urges the nations to beat their plowshares into swords, Isaiah 2:4, Joel 3:10. The phrase's long Old Testament history subtly reinforces the idea that a standing army is a relatively new innovation. Is that true, though? I mean, I'm not a military historian, so I don't know about that. But I was pretty sure the Pharaoh had a standing army. But maybe I don't. I don't know. Okay, let's read the next one. Oh, I love Frederick Douglass. That guy is brilliant. Honestly, for a guy, just super smart guy. Africa must rise and put her yet unwoven garment. Ethiopia shall stretch out her hands unto God. I don't know what he's connecting that to with an allusion. Honestly, I'm obviously not well read enough on whatever it was. Frederick Douglass, what to the slave is the 4th of July? I've never read that excerpt, but okay. Addressed to the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society in July 5th of 1952. Well, that would be partially why I wouldn't know about that. Here Douglass alludes to Psalms 68:31. Because the stretch out onto God. Okay. This quote of less well-known passage makes an appeal to authority with Douglass' largely Christian audience, an appeal to ethos by reminding them of his extensive knowledge of the text. Okay. We could get the full version if we wanted to read the full version. Honestly, this morning I'm not really wanting to read the full version of Frederick Douglass's speech that he gave to the Christians Woman group, but I'm sure it was a rousing moment for them. It was probably the talk of town. Guy was a brilliant, and he looked like he dressed super fly for the time period. Seriously, Google the guy. He looked serious as crap, man. Okay, metaphor. The use of a word or a phrase to symbolically represent another word or concept in order to highlight the similarities between them. Vivid images and apt analogies helped capture an audience's attention and imagination, but they can also make subtle suggestions. I assume unhesitatingly the leadership of this great army of our people dedicated to a disciplined attack upon our common problem. They spoke just so vastly different than us, right? Okay, so that's Franklin Delano Roosevelt in his inaugural address in March 4th, 1933. Likening overcoming the challenge of the Great Depression. Oh, I had no idea. I did not connect this to the Great Depression in any capacity. Good to know. With fighting a war, with himself leading the people, his army into battle. The martial metaphor suggests strength. Okay. I'm just kind of looking at that. I didn't catch Great Depression in any capacity, guys. Just legitimately. Just, I mean, the rest of it I'll get. I guess I lacked the historic background for that. I didn't realize he was. I just didn't think about it actually. This afternoon we gather in the quiet of this sanctuary to pay our last tributes of respect to these beautiful children of God. They entered the stage of history just a few years ago, and in the brief years that they were privileged to act on this mortal stage, they played their parts exceedingly well. Now the curtain call falls. They move through the exit. The drama of their earthly life comes to a close. So super well written again. No shock. It's Martin Luther King. Eulogy for the Martyred Children. I don't know who that is, but they're going to tell us. Given September 18, 1963, for the 4 young victims of the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. Oh, I don't know about this. I mean, like, obviously, right? Or I wouldn't have been so shocked. In Birmingham, Alabama, King likened the lives of the young girls. Oh, that's sad when people. I mean, it's sad when anybody loses their kid, but like daughters. I don't know. There's something so you want to keep them safe. You want to keep a little boy safe too, but like, I don't know. King likened lives of young girls to an act on the stage of history, suggesting his audience that, like parts in a play, human lives are ordained by God. I do pretty much think that we're probably less in control of our own lives than we'd like to be, and likely that the divine, almighty God is probably in charge. Not probably. Pretty sure he's in charge, but that's a separate thing than this class. Okay, schemes. As you continue your analysis, beware of different schemes or variation of sentence structure that are used throughout. Okay, so in all honesty, when we were at the very beginning part where they taught us about that whole, hey, I'm going to not use any of the conjunctions, I'm going to overly use them on purpose, and it changes the actual, like the urgency behind it and stuff. I had no clue that you could manipulate it like that. I do find it fascinating. I'm glad you can, because it's just neat. Let's read this. Parallelism, a pairing or a grouping of several related words, phrases, or sentences with the same or similar grammatical structure. We cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. Abraham Lincoln, Gettysburg Address. Those who have been left out, we will try to bring in. Those left behind, we will help to catch up. It's interesting that speech like that, when it's in a pattern, is more effective, right? So that's Richard Nixon in his inaugural address, January 20th, 1969. Okay. Anaphora. A form of parallelism, anaphora refer to the repetition of words at the beginning of successive clauses in a sentence, such as insistent repetition. Such insistent repetition leads emphasis and builds momentum. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the sea and ocean. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our islands, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. Winston Churchill, we shall fight on the beaches. Speech in June 4th, 1940, House of Commons. Okay. I gotta drink some coffee. Let both sides explore what problems unite us instead of belaboring those problems which divide us. Let both sides, for the first time, formulate serious and precise proposals for the inspection and control of arms, and bring the absolute power to destroy other nations under the absolute control of all nations. See, this is something I don't agree with. I don't believe in the United Nations having control of crap, actually, but let's both sides seek to invoke the wonders of science instead of its terrors. Let's both sides unite to heed in all corners of the earth the commands of Isaiah to undo to undo the heavy burden and let the oppressed go free. John F. Kennedy's inaugural address remarking on the Cold War. I don't have context to what he's talking about, but I don't like putting a nation under the control of all nations ever, and that's basically because are you a sovereign nation if all nations are in control? No, you're not. And so I'm not for an international one world body government. That's basically the only reason why. Okay, patterns of sounds. Writing for speaking means paying special attention to the sounds, cadences, and rhythm of words and phrases. These elements can imbue feelings and create shades of meaning in language. Here are some techniques writers and speakers use for this purpose. Alliterations. Repetition of consistent sounds, especially at the beginning of phrases. The vitality of language lies in its ability to limn. I don't know how to say this word. I'm going to just be honest. Sorry, guys. We got to find out. Don't know the word. Don't even know. I need the definition and pronunciation.
Limb.
It is limb. Depiction or depict or describe in painting or words. Oh, I've never seen this word used at all. Okay. Boom. Man, I am freaking getting so slapped around vocabulary-wise. Just gonna be honest. Okay, the vitality of language lies in its ability to limn the actual imagined, and possible lives of its speakers, readers, writers. Thomas Morris, Nobel Lecture, 1993. Oh, no crap. The repetition of the L sounds, language, lies, limb, and lives, lends the sentence. Oh, lends the sentence its music. Okay, let me reread this. The vitality of language lies in its ability to limn the actual, imagined, and possible lives of its speakers, readers and writers. Honestly, I don't feel that that's smooth to say at all, but like, to each their own. Assonance. Repetition of vowel sounds. Whew. Why is mob murder permitted by a Christian nation? Why is the cause of this awful slaughter? What is the cause of this awful slaughter? This question is answered almost daily. Always the same shameless falsehood that the Negroes are lynched to protect womanhood. Ida B. Wells, I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna guess they're a great civil rights leader of some kind. Or why would they put them in here? That's just why I'm guessing. Lynching our national crime addressed at the National Negro Conference in 1909. The ah sound in awful and the slaughter echo a cry of pain, and the long a sound in daily and same and shameless, fill drawn out and weary, lamenting the violence and justice that has perpetuated for so long. Okay. I'm going to be honest, I'm missing that. Okay, I'm going to reread this and try to figure out if I get that. Some of these I agree with and I think are legit. On this one, I almost think I don't know. I'm not a English major. Okay. Why is mob murder permitted by a Christian nation? What is the cause of this awful slaughter? This question is answered almost daily. Always the same shameless falsehood that the Negroes are lynched to protect womanhood. I didn't pick it up. I'm just gonna be honest. There's probably true. If I was a literature student, I'm sure I would be like, oh yeah, right there. I missed it. Just gonna say. Okay, sibilant. I'm not saying it's not well written. Just for the record, I'm just saying I'm not picking that up. I don't get the this part where they're saying the ooh parts and stuff, the awful parts. I don't get the sound thing that they're talking about. But okay, sibilance. The word sibilant comes from the Latin root meaning hissing. Oh, really? Syllabus. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I'm pronouncing this right, and I actually even know what this is. Sorry, guys. It's not what I thought it was. Okay. Whew. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's go back. We need pronunciation.
Because of the sport.
No, we don't need that crap. We just. Oh man, I swear to God. I don't want somebody's frickin' yeah, we just want you to say it. Okay. Symbionts. Maybe. I don't know why nobody will just say the crap. We'll just say symbionts. Okay, sibilants. The word that we don't know how to say. That's what we'll say. The word comes from the Latin root meaning hissing. Sibilants refers to the repetition of consonant sounds like S, SH, Z, and J. Okay? They have something to say to us in their death. They have something to say to every minister of the gospel who has remained silent behind the safe security of stained glass windows. They have something to say to every politician who has fed his constituents the stale bread of hatred and the spoiled meat of racism. Dr. Martin Luther King's eulogy for the martyred children, 1963. Here, the pronounced hissing, snake-like, and sometimes even spits when paired with the persuasive consonants P and T, suggesting to the listeners everything that is sneering, subtle, sinister, sneaky, and sly. I don't believe Dr. Martin Luther King, and I could be wrong, right? And I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I don't believe that Dr. King was thinking about that when he wrote that. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I have no freaking clue. That just, like, I don't know. We'll just, for the sake of argument, we're going to go along with that. That's just totally true. I don't understand the J part. Then all of a sudden we got P and T up in here. It's okay. Often these different kinds of repetition work together to weave a pattern of sounds. Courage, brothers. The battle for humanity is not lost or losing. All across the sky sit signs of promise. The slave is rising in his might. The yellow millions are tasting liberty. The black Africans are writhing towards the light. And everywhere the labor, with ballot in his hand, is voting open the gates of opportunity and peace. The morning breaks over the blood-stained hill. We must not falter. We must not shrink. Above are the everlasting stars. W.E.B. Du Bois, Niagara Movement Speech, Harper's Ferry, Virginia, August 1906. Oh, homeboy, it was way long time ago. When are King's speeches? Let's look at this. Where was the King's speech? Holy crap, this guy is a grip before King, right? Okay, good for him. How is this guy not more famous? Let's look this guy up. Guys, we're looking at him. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about him. I feel that somebody failed to cover this guy in school. Who are you, homie? Well, we know you're an activist. I just read some of your stuff. Oh, guy looks fly. Look at this. Okay, so this dude, I'll bet Martin Luther King read this dude. Do you guys think that it was Frederick Douglass and this dude that inspired Martin Luther King? I mean, who all inspired Martin Luther King? You guys. Oh man, you imagine getting a complete list of all the books that maybe like Dr. King or some other figure read so that you knew the full sum of their thinking? It'd be kind of interesting. Okay. Pan African Congress. I don't know anything about a lot of this stuff. I'll just be honest. What else did this guy write? Oh. Look at this. This is a Harvard dissertation. This guy is a freaking groundbreaker. Okay. Okay. Attended Fisk University. Attended Harvard. Oh, but they wouldn't accept the course credits from Fisk. Okay. That sucks when you transfer schools and then they don't take your credits, you guys. That's brutal. I mean, like, just gonna be honest, it's like they just deleted your stuff. I just kind of want to glance over a basic understanding who this dude is. These guys look so cool. I I don't know what these guys are wanting to do, don't they? Man, time changed so much. That dude looks serious. That guy looks like a dude that's thinking some. I mean, I know that that's the point of that picture, is that they were doing that on purpose. But this guy looks like, seriously, like you sat down in a coffee shop with this guy, and you're about to leave with a sense of gravity. I do not know what we just looked at, guys. I apologize for whatever I showed you if it's something not appropriate. Now I'm pretty sure I had to mark that I showed you guys a disturbing image for YouTube. It's historic, right? I apologize for that. I didn't realize that was going to be in there. Let's move forward. It is what happened, though. So, okay, the following exercises are meant to give you practical crafting. Practice crafting your own trope schemes and patterns of sounds. There are no right answers. The options are there for you to indicate for which type of trope scheme or pattern of sound for which you would like to invent an example. Once you enter your example, you will be able to see some responses from your peers. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to think of something to write real quick in my brain. And I literally, let's see if we remember which ones. I don't blame our president at all. I really don't. The reason I don't blame our president is because America has gone to sleep. Syllabants is the S's and crap like that, right? Metaphors we know. Allusions. Was this an allusion or an alliteration, guys? Don't answer. Don't answer. I'm going to get this on my own. Sometimes I'll accidentally pose a question and you guys are quick. believe it's an alliteration. Ooh! Oh, we're wrong! She'll answer anyway. I do want to see. It was a metaphor? How was... Oh, I was thinking of it wrong. I'm thinking this part, and they're talking... Oh, man, I'm freaking... Okay. Let's think better before... Let's also check, see if this is a trickable program. Some of these programs are trickable. I'm going to bet that this properly records and does not let us tinker with it. Oh. We didn't see this before, right? What did you learn from this? Literary tropes. Oh, nope. They're still there. You used all your things up, dang it. Why would have you done that? It's okay. We're going to leave it there even though we know we've already screwed it up. And we'll just have to deal with that. Okay. We are a bunch of Rip Van Winkles. I don't know that. Quiescent? Shirley Chisholm, a coalition of conscience, Greenfield High School. Okay. Massachusetts, October 3rd of 1983. Oh man, I'm sucking at these. I should have took notes, you guys. Can we go to the glossary during the quiz? I'm gonna get shredded by this quiz, you guys. This is not good. Okay. We are a bunch of Rip Van Winkles. I literally don't have a frickin' clue. It's not appealing to your pathos. Could this be an anaphora? Okay. Elysian, anaphora. Sorry, guys. It's not an anaphora for sure. It's going to be the solution because the Rip Van Winkle thing, right? Let me go down here and find the other word. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. We're having to study right here during the quiz. I believe this time it is an illusion. It's definitely not the pathos. It's definitely not this Elysian. I don't believe it's anaphora. This Rip Van Winkle thing is what makes me think that. But, oh, thank frick gosh. Oh, I already know they're not going to grade this. We don't get points for this. We're just doing this because we are doing this to check ourselves and to see if we know what we're. You have to upgrade to actually get the points for the quizzes, just so you know. I guess we could be less serious about it too then. The welfare of the wage worker, the welfare of the. Oh, this is that. I think this is the poly blah blah blah. This is the S one, right? The that I'm not going to be able to spot. Parallelism. This could be parallelism though. The welfare of the wage worker, the welfare of the tiller of soil. Upon these depends the welfare of the entire country. I believe this is parallelism. Boom! Oh, we're awesome. Okay. The right to live, their right to live in peace, their right to be treated with dignity, their right to equality of opportunity, their right to an education. Musaf, blah, 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 United States Assembly, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is not a metaphor for sure. And logos is an appeal to logic. So this is an anaphora, right? Yes. Yes. We're rocking. Okay. The welfare of the working. Did we not? Never mind. The welfare of the wage worker, the welfare of the tiller of soil. Upon these depends the welfare of the entire country. Materially, we must strive to secure a broader economic opportunity for all men, so that each shall have a better chance to show the stuff of which he is made. Theodore Roosevelt. I don't believe that this is not rhyming. This is not. This is ethos. This is an ethical call out. Is what I believe. Oh, well then it is alliteration. Okay, whatever. I'll go along with them. Okay, but with a long train of a buses, and it does say a buses. I don't understand that one. And asarpetitions. Oh, I don't like this at all. This is that weird thing with the S's, right? Pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. Oh, we just know that this is this one right here. Oh, maybe it's metaphors though, guys. I think it's this though. Oh no. Okay. Let me read through it then. But when a long train of abuses and I have no idea how to say this. seriously, I'm gonna cry about all these YouTube videos that are like gonna wanna. Is anybody gonna just play yeah, I'm a human. I believe the AIs could figure out how to click the I'm a human at this point. I don't even understand the point of that.
Usurpation.
Usurpation.
Usurpation. Okay. But when a long train of abuses and usurpation pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. Thomas Jefferson, in collaboration with John Adams, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Roger Sherman, Robert Livingston, in 1976, July 4th, the United States Declaration of Independence. I'm going to be honest. Let me read back through this because I thought it was going to be this whole S's thing where it's like, hey, you're making it weird and stuff, so now I'm not really sure. Probably going to get this right. It's not a metaphor. Believe it's going to be this assonance. Oh, I'm supposed to check all that apply? Oh, frick, they tricked me. Okay, I should read that before. I almost changed it. Got it. That was not freaking easy. Okay. Now that you have reviewed the key terms, what other thoughts do you have on the structure and language of King's speech? As you reread, ask yourself the following: what is the thesis? Who is the audience? What modes of appeal does he use? What instances do you see of schemes and tropes such as allusions, anaphoras, metaphors? Do you know patterns of speech such as alliterations, assonances, and sibilants? I don't know how to say that, guys. We'll deal with that later. What else do you notice? If you wish, you may tag your annotations, for the following tags are available for this speech. Oh, they want us to re-annotate it again. Okay. So, I'm going to just be honest. I'm going to want to take notes. It's about to be 6 o'clock in the morning, which is when we stop anyway. Let's check our progress for the day. This was brutal a little bit. We're 21% complete. That's not very impressive, just to be honest, for day 5. That puts us at having to do another 20 days. We'll have to speed this up, guys. What's going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to knock out a chunk of it. I will listen to the lectures some more tonight off stream. The only reason I'm not listening to the lectures on stream is because they're videos by Harvard, and I don't want to come against Harvard in some capacity, in some, you know, fight about if I had fair use of their videos. And so this is epic, though. This is absolutely a much more challenging Harvard course than the last free one I took. I'm going to just be honest with you. If you guys are wanting to take a free Harvard course and stuff like that, literally it is as easy as Googling free, hold on, free Harvard courses. Click this button right here. You're going to see this Harvard University pop up. You'll literally see their little free course thing. Right here, you're going to be able to go through, pick the courses you want. What will happen is they'll help you make a Education EDX account, and that will allow you to take free courses. I'm going to include this link in the description in this video below. So if you guys want to start one of these courses, or if you want to just catch up and, you know, work along with it in the morning, I guess you could do that too. If you feel like it, of course, you can upgrade these courses in order to be able to get credit, certificates, and things like that. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace, very best wishes, and thanks for hanging out.